What do you think of the background?
You're now listening to the Jca Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the Jca Sports.
What's up, everybody? The Jca Sports Podcast is back and live and better than ever. Jose Contreras, myself, Eric Avila here, guys. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms too as well. John couldn't be with us today, but it's all good. We got him covered. He's going to be hopefully live on the chat, guys. We got a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about. Jose, we got the Bulls. The Bulls are finally in the playoffs after a 6-year hiatus.
Yep.
Bears OTAs are starting tomorrow, today.
They actually started yesterday.
There you go. See there. That's why I got you in this show, my man. I got my back like that. And last week we had a baseball podcast where we had John and his whole family clan. We were missing you. We missed you. But we also need to know your predictions for the World Series. Who's your favorite, or what is your favorite matchup for the World Series? We want to get your take on that and so much more here on the Jca Sports Podcast. Jose, first of all, good show at the Sports Strip Live. Guys, if you missed it, make sure you can listen to Sports Strip Live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock and listen to the podcast on Spotify and Anchor, along with all the other shows that we have here, us on JCA and also the EAFP podcast. Jose, how are you today, man?
Good, bro. Good. And yes, and for those who missed it, not only can you catch it on Spotify and Anchor, the audio version, you could always rewatch the video version on YouTube, on Facebook as well. On our John Conavi Facebook page. You can go on there. It'll be on there. YouTube will always have it up as well. So there you go. You have totally so many different options to be able to watch us, listen to us. I hope you don't get tired of us, but we appreciate y'all nonetheless.
No, and also make sure you share this show and all our other shows too as well on your Facebook page, and make sure you let your friends know all about us. But Jose, let's get to it. The Bulls right now, they're getting their BUTT. I mean, they're getting their ass whooped right now by the Boston Celtics. It's the same problem year in and year out for that, or not year in, but this season, this has been the same problem when they face the upper echelon teams. Yep. But they made the playoffs. They're like the Bears. They're backing it in, man. My question to you is, and to everybody else, and I'm going to put it on the chat. Make sure you guys join us on the chat too as well, talk about the Chicago Bulls. But my question to you, Jose, is this. Are you just excited that the Bulls are in the playoffs, or do you actually want the Bulls to succeed in the playoffs?
I'm in such a rough spot, Eric, because emotionally, I say that because, prior to this season started, you and I were both very excited at the fact that, the Bulls are starting to take a step in the right direction. And I still am, right? I don't want you guys to think that I'm spoiled here.
Yeah, you are.
But I was really excited that they took the step in the right direction, getting all these guys. They were only going to be better. They were, you and I both predicting them making the playoffs for sure. And we were 100% okay with that. I was 100% okay. Like, you know what? They're just going to make the playoffs. Even if they don't get out the first round, it's the step in the right direction. It's what we've been wanting to see for a long time. They've been so irrelevant for so long under the old regime. Here we have a new regime, and they seem like they know what they're doing. And I was very content in just knowing that. Then the regular season started, and we started to see this team exceed those expectations and more. I thought this team was, it got to the point where I thought, or I believe they were able to win a championship. And now seeing them on this decline, as you said, they're stumbling their way back into the playoffs. It kind of ruined it for me. It's not like they're not, going the way I wanted them to. This is what I wanted. I want them to make the playoffs, regardless if they win a championship or not. I just want to see some success. We have that, but I don't know what it is. But because I was so up here, and now I'm down here, I'm just kind of the energy's sucked out of me when it comes to the Bulls. I need to get back to where you're at, where you're like, you know what? It's still exciting. We still haven't seen this in years. It's still a great team. Let's enjoy the ride. So it's little by little, I'm starting to get there. But to answer your question, man, I'm a bit hurt because I want this team to succeed. I want this team to win the championship. That's your goal. It should be your goal every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I guess reality sunk in, and I don't see it happening.
Now look, we can blame the injuries all we want, right? Because right before the All-Star break, even when the injuries were first fresh and just happening, the Bulls were still kind of going on a little tear, right? And we kind of blame the injuries. All right, we blame the injuries a little bit. Like, look, there's no Pat Will, there's no Lonzo Ball, there's no Alex Caruso. There's really nothing there. The Bulls are still competing, but you're losing, but understandably so.
Right.
But I've always said to myself, I was always this guy, and I was saying, you know what, even with the injuries, it's all good. I kind of just want them to be relevant. I still want them to be in the playoffs, even when they were in the hottest streak, number one in the East, and all that good stuff, and playing, lights out. I was like, okay, cool, the first year, but again, I would put my advantage at Milwaukee. I'll still put my advantage over Philadelphia, even Brooklyn. I think those are the only three teams that I kind of put myself into those shoes. Like, okay, those are probably the three teams they can't beat, but that sounds like a second round playoff appearance. Well, now they're back down where they're at today, backing into the playoffs, and I just don't see them winning a playoff series. Depending on the matchup, I probably don't even see them, let alone win a playoff game. Now, you may think I'm crazy, right? And a lot of people, you and John, both call me the Bulls hater, because I don't like to agree about you guys and Derrick Rose, and the Bulls would have had one championship. It's not really like that. It's just I really see what I see, and I really did see the Bulls were lacking some size and some depth, and that's I hate to say I told you guys so, but I told you guys so. You guys jumped on that championship bandwagon really, really quick, but at the same time, at least AK and Eversley know what they need to do for next year. And I think I'll be more excited for next year. I just want the Bulls to see. I just want to see NBA playoffs, the Chicago Bulls versus it could be the 76ers. All right, cool. I'm excited. I get to see the Bulls in playoff format. I get to see the Bulls, beat up teams or compete against teams. I can see the Chicago Bulls, just being in the playoffs. That's all I wanted in the beginning of the season, right. And that's what I'm getting. I said 500. I was okay with above 500 record, and maybe in the playing game, or making it out of the playing game and being in the playoffs. My crazy prediction was them being third in the East and with 4 All-Stars. That's not going to happen. That never happened. That wasn't going to happen.
No.
But all I just wanted to see was the Bulls just to be contending in the playoffs. That's all I wanted, and I'm getting that. So I'm okay. I'm sufficed. I'm good. Next year, different story.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you want to jump in the comments, please jump in the comments. If not, you want to jump on live with me and Eric, please hit the link that Eric put on the show. You'll be able to jump in with us, speak whatever you want to speak, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, you name it. We're here to talk. Ricky on the comments, who was just on with me on Sports Drip Live, says, I don't see the Bulls going far into the playoffs, but them just being there after a long time is a win for me this season. I think we all feel the same way for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know I do. I mean, again, our expectations were the same. We were here, and I loved you for it. And you were right. We were here. We were together. We were like this, Jose. We were like this, homie.
Oh my
God!
God!
All of a sudden, you just
no. Hold on, buddy. It's more like
it's more like this, right? More like this. More like this.
You know what I mean?
More like this. Yeah.
More like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho, that's not the point. Point is, we were together, right? And then all of a sudden, you just fell in love with this winning streak. You just fell in love with all this, and you just went from here to out of the picture, and it's just like, dude, hold on, relax, man, relax. And I try to tell you guys, and I told you guys to relax, but no, you and John just decided to just hop right on.
Here's the thing: the Bulls have my heart. I'm not saying that these other teams don't in Chicago, but I think out of all the Chicago teams, the Bulls have always had a special place in my heart. When those Derrick Rose era days, like that team was just different. I was absolutely madly in love with them to the point where I would know what the score was. I would know who would win. I would always DVR the game, come back and rewatch it because I just loved that team and that sport so much. That seeing them, when I saw them playing well and I saw them giving me all this hope, like it just came back. You know what I mean? It's like it came all rushing back. And I was just hoping, man, I still have high hopes for this team. This was 1 year, to fully together. Like I said, they definitely matched our expectations beginning of the season, and I need to see that as a win, just like you and Ricky are. But yeah, I definitely went from here to there because I just love this team that much. It's a guilty pleasure for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I understand. Like, and to you and everybody else, I think everybody was just excited that the Bulls were good, were really, really good. And then the position that they were in before the All-Star, the All-Star break, the position that they were in going into the All-Star break, the position that they were in even a little bit after the All-Star break. They were up. They were the number 1, number 2 seed in the East for a very, very long time. Literally almost like right dab in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, to get excited, to get, the mojo up and just being fanboys and just being crazy. It happens. And I understand that, but
yep.
I guess you just lost the bigger picture. And speaking of big picture, the one person that's not going to be there in this NBA playoffs this year is going to be LeBron James. The reason why I say that is because the Lakers were eliminated last night in a loss where LeBron James did not play. On Monday, we talked about if there was a chance that LeBron James was going to make the NBA playoffs. One said yes, one said hell no. And once again, I hate to be that guy, but I was right.
You were absolutely right. But let's be honest, it's because LeBron wasn't playing is the reason why they lost.
That had no reason to do it.
It had every reason.
This team was a mess from the beginning, from the start, literally, and from the turn right before the new year. This team was a mess, and we kind of saw it slowly but surely. If it wasn't for injuries, it was just the camaraderie of that team. It was AD not being there, Carmelo Anthony looking like the Carmelo Anthony that we knew of now. LeBron James kind of losing. It to me, in the few games that I watched the LA Lakers, to me it looked like LeBron James in baseball terms starting to lose his fastball. Instead of going from 99, it looked like he's going to 94, 95. Still pretty fast, but not quick enough. Russell Westbrook, which, by the way, last night at my job, a couple of my colleagues, we had a heated debate about Russell Westbrook and how this guy is just not the guy anymore and never was, at least in my book.
There was somebody saying that he was still the guy?
Yeah. So it was just they just thought, MVP.
Who was that, Eric? Put him on blast right now. Put him on blast.
Where's Shy Blizz? Shy Blizz, where you at, homie? But this team was constructed poorly, man. This team was GM LeBron GM. Like LeBron was the one that brought him in. We know from the Cleveland Cavaliers the second time around, he's the one that's picking players and choosing and bringing who and bringing this and bringing that. And I'll put this straight. If it wasn't for COVID, I really don't think that the LA Lakers would have won that NBA title anyways. They were lucky that the bubble came around and their players got healthy. And when healthy, yes, this is a very scary team, but that was without Russell Westbrook. Yeah. So that team was still constructed well to compete. But if there was never COVID, Lakers would have never won that championship. I'm not surprised that the Lakers are not in the NBA playoffs. It doesn't do me any good other than you could tell that LeBron, his hold on the NBA slowly but surely is fading and it's going to be gone. And I have a question for you after I want to know your take about the Lakers. But that's just it, man. The Lakers are in the NBA playoffs and they need to do something quick because if LeBron is there one more year, same story.
Right. I was out here right now saying how disappointed I was that the Bulls aren't showing that they were elite going into the playoffs as they did in the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I can't be more disappointed than Lakers fans right now.
Yeah, because the expectations are too high.
The expectations are always high because it's the Lakers.
Right,
Then you add a superstar like LeBron, and then you add a superstar like Anthony Davis. But then even in the beginning of the season, you see the team that's constructed. You see Rajon Rondo, you see Dwight Howard, you see Carmelo Anthony, and you see Russell Westbrook, and you're looking like, how the hell? Like, is this even fair? Like, you have all these guys, who at one point were stars, every single one of them in their own team. Now they're joining together. Like, if this was 2010, Eric, this would have been the greatest team ever assembled. Let's be honest.
Minus AD.
Huh?
Minus AD, I think.
No, well, no. Let's just be real. This was 2010.
Everybody else, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Even take him out the picture, it still would have been the greatest team ever assembled. And that's saying something. Mm-hmm. And then fast forward 2022, here we are, and for them, they trade Rondo midseason, and then for them to just be this way, embarrassing, huge embarrassment. Anthony Davis, LeBron James weren't healthy all season. Carmelo Anthony started off hot and then just dropped big time. Dwight Howard, I don't even know what the hell he's doing anymore. And Russell Westbrook, I know he hates the word, but he literally lived up to the name Russell Westbrook the entire season. This guy, it finally caught up to him. He always had the tendency to just pull up, jump, pull up, shot from like anywhere on the court. He could have been 50 feet out by the logo. Pull up shot. Stupid. I always criticized Russell Westbrook no matter what team he was on, whether it was Houston, whether it was Oklahoma City. I always said, this guy, I hate the way he plays because he just literally, you have 24 seconds in the clock. You let 3 seconds go by, pull up three-pointer and brick. He's always does this every single time. And like, what are you doing? You have a whole shot clock there for a reason. You have a whole other 4 guys for a reason. But you like to hold the ball, you like to shoot, and you're bricking or you're airballing it. And here he comes to Los Angeles, and it's no different. It's no different. This guy at one point was an elite point guard. We were comparing him to Derrick Rose at one point, like, who's the better point guard? Blah blah blah. And now look at him. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. The Lakers were a huge disappointment and large fact because they had Russell Westbrook on that team. And for LeBron James-led team, wow.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow, for sure. It's first of all, Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all of our social media platforms. Make sure you guys follow us, make us your favorite podcast. Turn on the notification on the Jonko Navi Facebook page to know when we have our live shows or if we put something or post something on our Facebook page. Make sure you guys do that. Jonathan Plyo, our main buddy here, he's not with us, but he's on the comments live and strong. Says LeBron sucks. Plain and simple. That's your boy, Jose. Defend your boy, LeBron James.
John, why do you say he sucks? Because his team missed the playoffs? It's not LeBron James' fault that they missed the playoffs. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's the GM, LeBron James' fault, but it's not the player, LeBron James' fault. He wasn't healthy all season. And when he is healthy, the man puts up points, puts up buckets. He is legit a superstar, will always be a superstar until the end. And yeah, look, I don't blame him. It is when you stack your team. That's his fault 100%. I'll give him that blame. But, if you're going to say he sucks as a general manager, or as a talent evaluator or someone who assembles a team, absolutely, I'm there 100% with you. But, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that they didn't make the playoffs. And yes, I guess you give credit to LeBron because he assembled that team. That's the guys he wanted. But as far as the player goes, you don't blame LeBron.
No, you don't. And the conversation we had yesterday about Russell Westbrook. Yes, he was an MVP. Yes, he averaged a triple-double to win those MVPs. Yes, we understand that. But that was a guy. But Russell Westbrook,
he can't. Hold on, John. He can't play for these other guys. Anthony Davis literally has the nickname Street Clothes because he can never stay in the game. That's not LeBron James' fault. That's not LeBron James doesn't. That's not his fault that Anthony Davis can't stay healthy. It's not LeBron James' fault that Russell Westbrook is a shell of himself. It's his fault for him getting those guys on the team, but it's not his fault that they still suck. Carmelo Anthony, your boy, who you love, is a shell of himself too. Nowhere near what he used to be. It's LeBron's fault that he's on the team, but it's not LeBron's fault that he sucks. Come on, John, you're better than that. Go ahead, Eric. My bad.
I know. We were talking about yesterday how Russell Westbrook never improved his game. It was by the way, update: the Bulls lost to the Boston Celtics, 117-94. Another disappointing loss to another top team in the Eastern Conference. That's for sure. Bulls have no shot winning one.
Two more games, Eric. They have 2 more games before the playoffs start.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's 6 seed. They're going to be 6 seed. They're not. I don't see them
be in the 5th.
I mean, they can because they have Charlotte and they have Minnesota next.
Yeah. Well, hey, all I gotta say is here comes Milwaukee with a sweep with the broom. That's all I gotta say.
No, if it continues to go the way it goes, yeah, they're facing Milwaukee, and that's not going to
sweep. Where's the brooms? Bust out the brooms. Bust out your Giannis jersey, Jose. You're gonna be cheering for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I won't cheer for Giannis until after the Bulls are eliminated. Okay, otherwise in Chicago all the way, baby. Go ahead.
I see. No, but honestly, man, we were talking about Russell Westbrook at work yesterday, and we were talking about how the man never developed his game, how he was just one trick pony, the most athletic person in the court for sure. He never developed. You're right. He stopped to pull up and shot flat, never had a good shot, never worked on it. He just relied a lot on his athleticism, and to the point that athleticism goes away and never worked improving on anything else. So yes, it's just another big name who won an MVP at the right time. Triple doubles here and there. Yes, he probably could take a team if it was by himself, take a team to a playoff appearance, but doesn't give you anything else after that. So it is what it is. I am not surprised that the Lakers are out. I'm not surprised that they didn't make the playoffs. I'm not surprised that this team ran by LeBron James is where it's at right now. And to me, I don't think even getting Russell Westbrook, even Mr. Top 75, which he probably to me doesn't deserve to be on there anyways. He doesn't deserve to be anywhere credit. This guy is just a cancer to the team by his style of playing. You want to talk about stat padding? Let's talk Russell Westbrook. Want to talk about a guy who cares about his numbers? Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Let's talk about building a team. Let's stay away from Russell Westbrook. That's how I see him, because Russell Westbrook to me, outside of his fashion decision, which is kind of questionable, his playing game hasn't even improved, and this guy just whatever he was that made him to NBA, no longer in there. But who has an opportunity to take that throne now since LeBron James is out, Jose? Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant, is this the perfect opportunity if he makes a long run into the NBA Finals and winning it? Is this the opportunity now where Kevin Durant overshines LeBron James as his throne as the face of the NBA?
Eric, I think when it comes to the Kevin Durant LeBron James battle, I think you could give the edge to Kevin Durant. I could sit here and tell you today's NBA game between these two guys, you could go ahead and give that to Durant because LeBron is starting to. He's on the decline at the moment. There's no disputing that. LeBron isn't. His team is not making the playoffs. Kevin Durant's been gone for most of the season. His team is. That's saying something, right? But going back into the comments, Ricky, who's also there with John, he hates LeBron. He's a big LeBron hater. I never forgot the flop against Nazir Muhammad. I remember that. I remember when Nazir Muhammad pushed him. I cheered. Look. I respect LeBron. All right, I respect LeBron for many different reasons. I'm not
your jersey collection says so.
I'm not a huge LeBron fan, right? But I respect the hell out of him. I've always have. I hated him during the Bulls Rose era. I hated him because he was the reason why we never got to a championship. But yeah, that flop against Nazir Muhammad was everything. But going back to John, right? Because this is where my beef is at right now. LeBron said now because he gave up on his team. He's hurt, bro. Like, come on, man. He traded the whole team for Anthony Davis. But did it not?
I mean, they got a chip out of it.
They got a championship out of it.
Just with a little star next to it because it was
right. You got to give them that. Like you do what you can for the chip, and that's what they did. It's his fault about Westbrook because Westbrook can't be Mr. Triple. Okay, again, nobody is disputing that. Him getting these players, these washed up old ass players, to this team is his fault, 100%. No one's disputing that. But for them sucking the way they suck is not his fault. Nobody I don't think we knew I don't think we thought this team was going to be the way it was at the beginning of the season. I don't think anybody looked at this team and was like, oh, yeah, this team is going to be a shell of itself. This team's going to suck. They're not going to make the playoffs. They're going to be horrible at the beginning of the season. I don't think anybody thought that. I looked at this team at the beginning of the season. I was like, oh, shit. The Lakers might go to the finals again, right? I legit thought that because I didn't think Westbrook would be as bad as he is. I didn't think Carmelo was going to be as bad as he was. I didn't think this team. I didn't think Anthony Davis was going to be, just as much as out as he was because they literally won a championship 2 years ago. You could say it's a bubble chip or not. It's the same thing. Are you going to give who won the Dodgers, right? Your favorite team. Are you going to discredit them for winning a championship in 2020? You can't. Come on, man. Don't give me that. It's still you still play the damn game. Like it could have been anybody who won in that year, regardless of the fact that the Lakers won and rightfully so. Also says at this point Carmelo was in the league. Duh. We all knew him signing with the Lakers was just for fun. Just sell LeBron and Melo together. Look, no, I think he had a good year in Portland. He was actually pretty good.
He was good.
With Damian Lillard out there. So you thought you would get a little bit more out of Carmelo Anthony than we saw. Mr. Triple Double is a Hall of Famer. I never said that.
I don't think he is. It's the NBA. Everybody gets into the Hall of Fame.
I think he'll end up in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he deserves it. No, I actually never watched Space Jam 2, and I don't want to watch Space Jam 2.
Still haven't watched it.
And he said the bubble chip don't count again. We already alluded to that. It does count because if you want to say that, then the Dodgers championship, which is your team, never counted as well.
Put a little star next to it for sure. Because the year after they really didn't do anything else afterwards. Exactly. So when it really counted. Anywho, but yeah, man, I think to go back to the question, I think it's Kevin Durant's opportunity too, because if he doesn't do it this year, then he'll forever be number 2. Knowing that Giannis is right behind him, knowing that everybody else is right behind him. Why am I spacing? Joel Embiid is right behind him. Knowing that even the younger stars like the Tatums, the Trae Youngs, the Luka Doncic's, the Ja Morants, all those players in the NBA that are right behind him are gonna creep up to him if Kevin Durant doesn't take this opportunity, at least for the next couple years or so, for him to be the face or the number 1 player in the NBA. And if he doesn't do it this year, winning the NBA title, I think he'll forever be number 2 and will just decline after that. Is this the perfect opportunity for Kevin Durant to be that number 1 guy?
Yeah, I think it's the perfect opportunity. Do I think it's going to happen? No, because you have my boy Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can't even say his name right, but you know what I'm talking about.
How can you be your boy if you can't even say his name?
Come on, man. You have my boy Giannis. You have my boy Giannis, who I believe is far better than Kevin Durant. This is already his league. No, it's not. The fact that you're disrespecting him that way and saying that, it's Kevin Durant's league now, LeBron, blah, 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 blah. No, don't sleep on my boy Giannis, okay? Do not sleep on my boy Giannis. He did what Kevin Durant could never do. And Cole, that's your boy John. John said the bubble chip don't count. I don't know what to say. That's because LeBron won. That's the only reason why he said it. If it would have been any other team like the Warriors, he probably would have never said that. But it's John, so can't really argue with his logic sometimes. But Eric, no, you're completely neglecting Giannis. The fact that, look, I get why you say this. I agree with you that Durant is starting to surpass, if not, he already surpassed LeBron James. But if Giannis if he hasn't surpassed Durant yet, he's literally this close to doing it. He's literally tugging on his jersey, like, bro, this ain't your league just yet. And I think you gotta give him respect for that. You gotta give him respect for that.
No, for sure. But I it's just like when Kevin Durant, and he has even when he had a healthy team, you could tell that he could still be that guy and take over the team, take over the league, and bust out. We had a conversation on Monday on our the podcast saying that Kevin Durant walked into NBA title. Remember the year that he went out with blew up his Achilles. When he came back, those 11 minutes were almost everything. You could kind of tell that the tide was turning because Kevin Durant was everything for that Golden State Warriors team.
He was not everything for that Golden State Warriors team. Why do you do this to yourself?
He was.
Why do you? Because you said we have this argument every single time, Eric. He was not everything for the Warriors.
He was.
The Warriors would have won a championship without Kevin Durant, as they did previous years before.
And did they win the NBA title that year when he went out against the Toronto Raptors?
Who was hurt? Klay Thompson got hurt as well, just as Kevin Durant did. He got hurt. Klay Thompson got hurt. Even Steph Curry got injured.
Kevin Durant was everything for that team.
No,
he would have taken over that team. He would have taken over that series, and they would have won another NBA.
The Warriors were everything for Kevin Durant. That's what you need to say.
No,
if it wasn't for the Warriors, Kevin Durant would have no championship. But you can't say the other way. Look, but you can't say it the other way around. You can't. If it wasn't for the Warriors, Durant would not have a championship. You cannot say it the other way around because they won a championship well before he even got there.
This one, to me, Giannis won something that KD couldn't do in OKC. That's simply because
Thank you, Cole.
It's simply because he had one player named Russell Westbrook on that team that kind of ruined everything for him. Mr. Turnover in the NBA Finals. Although they were young,
he had James Harden.
They were young, and they played against a Miami Heat team that was stacked, that was in the finals the year before. I know he hasn't, but if he does win this year, right, and if he does take over how he's going to in the NBA playoffs, I think it's time to probably put him ahead of LeBron James, especially with the last couple of years where LeBron's injuries and his age, and he looks like little by little starting to crumble just a little bit more.
I don't know, Eric.
This is the perfect opportunity for LeBron to finally, at least for a small time, for a small moment, before the other players, the other new generation comes in, and for him to be somewhat of the face of the NBA just for a little time being. Because let's be honest, Kevin Durant, for what he has done, have overcome. Like he has been second best behind LeBron James, and rightfully so. But this is the perfect opportunity for him to.
Okay, hold on, Eric, real quick before you move on. Okay, sticking to that same point you just said, right? Surpassing LeBron and how, right? Like as he's like a better player right now in today's game. I think you give him that because of the age, because LeBron is starting to decline. That's the only way. But if you're looking at better overall, like who's better, Durant has not surpassed LeBron. Durant is nowhere near. He needs to, at least a couple more championships to do so. I think offensively, yes, you want to give it to Durant. I think, but give me a healthy LeBron over a healthy Durant any day of the week.
Give me a healthy Durant over a healthy LeBron any day of the week. LeBron KD could score at pure will if he has to.
So can LeBron, Eric. So can LeBron. Look, it's so freakishly strong, so freakishly fast. He could just dive into the hoop, kind of like how Giannis is now, and just score at will.
But KD could pull up from anywhere and almost be as automatic as any other player in the league. His length, and his height gives him the advantage over almost anybody in this league. When are you going to see a guy who's 6'11" that can shoot like Kevin Durant?
Right,
lights out.
But you got to play both ends on the floor, and if you're looking defensively, and if you're looking defensively,
the size differential is
LeBron is a beast defensively. Okay, he's not just a great offensive weapon. Defensively, he is an absolute beast.
I don't know about offensive weapon because anything outside of 16 feet, LeBron James is almost.
We're not talking this year, LeBron James. Okay, we're not talking
about LeBron James overall.
Right, we're talking LeBron James overall.
I say who's been MVP
in this league.
I'm iffy. It's iffy.
Your big point, your point with Kevin Durant, how he made Golden State, blah blah blah, was because of the fact that he won Finals MVP. How many Finals MVP does LeBron have? If that's your main argue point, how many does LeBron have? He has a lot. He almost every time, if not every time he wins a championship, he wins MVP. So he is the absolute best player on that team. You cannot say the same for Kevin Durant when he was on the Golden State Warriors. You couldn't.
I mean, he was MVP for that.
You're looking at his stats. The reason why he won,
even in the stats, you can just tell by the games. I have eyes that shows the game a whole different story.
Eric, they deferred to him, Eric. They deferred to Kevin Durant. They're like, you know what? Steph Curry took a step back to let Durant do his thing. Klay Thompson took a step back to let Kevin Durant. Otherwise, they would have been just fine without him. They would have scored just as many points without him. Steph Curry averaged only 1 point less than Kevin Durant those 2 years.
They would not.
You're ignoring that fact that Steph Curry was really right there. If Kevin Durant if Kevin Durant wasn't on the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry would have been the Finals MVP. He would have been the Finals MVP because he literally was right there neck and neck with Durant. They gave it to Durant. Fine, cool. That doesn't mean he made that team. That team made him. That played.
No. Kevin Durant gave that team those NBA championships. He was the Finals MVP for a reason. And like I said, when KD went out, KD was over with. They overpowered KD.
Eric, the only person that agrees with you in this conversation is John. Everybody that we talk to, even Cole in the comments, is saying the exact same thing I'm saying. John is the only person that agrees with you. Other than that, I have met nobody who agrees the fact that Kevin Durant made that Golden State Warriors team. That Golden State Warriors team was already made.
I mean, look, man, no.
Cole also says stop blaming Russ for everything. Russ was averaging 28 with KD. If KD was that good, he wouldn't have blew a 3-1 lead to the Warriors. If you don't beat them, join them. That's exactly what Kevin Durant did.
Yeah, but also I wasn't Russell Westbrook also averaging like 8 to 9 turnovers a game in that series too as well, even with a 3-1 lead. Pretty sure I saw something along those lines, man. Turnovers are everything. And besides, when you have two ball dominant players and knowing that you're not good, but yet you still want the ball, it kills the vibe, man. It kills the vibe.
Cole also saying is he better than LeBron at this point? Hell yeah. His career pass, nope, and I agree with them 100%.
No, career pass. He's not gonna reach the accolades of LeBron James.
Exactly.
Look, that's a whole different conversation and a whole nother.
If John was here, he would.
A whole nother topic. Who said that?
If John was here, I guarantee you he would have said, yeah, he passed LeBron already.
John. No.
Get in the show, John. Come on, I'm ready. I'm ready for you, John.
LeBron will be number one. LeBron will be number one in almost every statistical category in the NBA, no matter where you're going to put him. Simply because, one, he started at a very young age. Two, he was healthy for all of his career playing, right? Three, he was averaging those numbers and playing those games. So I think isn't he like the leading scorer in playoffs, depending how long he's been in the playoffs.
If I'm the leading scorer in NBA, period.
Right. All that aside, we know that's gonna happen. That's not what I'm arguing. We're talking about at the moment right now, time and day, 2022 on April the 6th. LeBron James is no longer the guy to give the reins and let him in. Steph Curry had a legitimate case for MVP's finals.
Absolutely. Eric fails to refuse. He refuses to see the stats. I tell him all the time, Steph Curry was literally right there with Kevin Durant. Literally. But they gave it to Durant. That's cool. But Steph Curry was right there. The fact that he thinks if it wasn't for Durant, they wouldn't have won a championship is crazy.
They wouldn't have. No, they wouldn't have. They would not have. No, I don't think they would.
Facts.
Yeah, but then also, how long did it take for the Warriors to actually get back after he had left? With all the injuries,
right?
And the players that they had to read out. It took time.
Injuries will stop them. Otherwise, they would have continued their dominance.
Right. Klay Thompson being hurt, blowing out his knee, and then turning his Achilles.
Curry was out from
not being 100%. There was like a whole, switch. They had to do like a whole roster change. So yes. Right now, yes, it's different now. They had to restructure that team. They look fine now. Of course, they're one of the best shooting teams when everybody is healthy. I agree with you at that. Just at that time, you could tell that they were missing something the year that the Cleveland Cavaliers won the NBA title.
They were not. Eric, they literally came from the finals the year before. They weren't missing a damn thing. They would have.
The West wasn't.
They would have went to the finals. They would have went to the finals 2 years in a row without Durant. How they would have won, that's up for debate. But they would have went to right back to the finals both years if Durant hadn't went to that team. That's the difference here. Durant, that wouldn't have happened for him. He literally, again, they didn't need Durant. They didn't need him. Of course, they wanted him. Who doesn't want Durant? You'd be dumb not to get a player like him. They wanted him. He joined them. They didn't join him. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You gotta acknowledge that, man.
And that's fine, and that's great. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying that even without Kevin Durant, I still think that LeBron would have probably went back to back in winning the NBA Finals with the team.
They would have split.
I don't think they would have split. I think the year that the Cleveland Cavaliers won, you seen that they knew how to play the Golden State Warriors, and they had a game plan for that, and that was put LeBron on Steph. And Kyrie, whatever he does on Klay Thompson, and now even Klay Thompson, they didn't even put Klay Thompson on Kyrie. I think it was crap. Who the hell was? I can't even remember. Right. It wasn't even that. They just put Kyrie on on a small forward just for him to do whatever it was.
Right.
Regardless of the fact, where I'm going with this is Kevin Durant was everything for the Golden State Warriors to win those NBA championships, man. And you're right. Who wouldn't want KD? You're absolutely right. I think every organization would be dumb if they didn't want KD. But I'm just saying that without KD, those two NBA finals, they could have been back to back if he didn't blow out his Achilles. I'm just saying. That's just me.
Cole says LeBron just outsmarted them, plus a few injuries, but that don't mean that they needed KD because they lost, which is true. They didn't need Kevin Durant. He also says the game plan was switch Kyrie onto Steph and take advantage. They want
to attack. So yeah, because Steph is not really that great of a defender.
Right.
Which I mean, and you saw that, right? But towards late, you could start however you want to start. It's how you finish. And when towards the tail end of the NBA Finals, especially that the year that Cleveland won, you could tell that the rotation that they had, right, putting LeBron on Steph, and also Klay Thompson. Damn, why am I forgetting all the other players? You know what? Whatever. It's gonna kill me, and I'm probably remember regardless of the
Thompson
fact
was on there. Was Iguodala on that team?
With the Warriors, yeah. But even so, that's not it. I think we're going off topic. Regardless of the fact, KD, if he wins the NBA Finals this year, the NBA is his. And he goes.
How do you say that? How do you say that over Giannis? How do you say that over Giannis? How?
Because if KD actually wins the NBA Finals and becomes the NBA MVP, unless if Kyrie Irving goes off and averages like 40 a night and does what he did to help LeBron win the NBA championship, that's the only way. But I feel if the Brooklyn Nets win and Kevin Durant becomes the Finals MVP, I think for right now, for the time being, up until it's KD's time is up, KD is going to be the face of the NBA.
How do you not give it to Giannis? If he already won a championship, if you look at his team now, they look like they might just win another one. Like how can you sit here and say that Kevin Durant's automatically just going to take?
Because I rightfully do believe that the Brooklyn Nets, if matchups wise, right, I got to see the seedings. If matches up right, I honestly do believe that the Brooklyn Nets will probably eliminate the Milwaukee Bucks. And if they do, if it's either Milwaukee or Philadelphia or whoever it is, whoever eliminates who. But I'm saying if it goes all the way through, if Brooklyn goes all the way through and wins the NBA Finals, I'm gonna say that.
Cole, I appreciate you, Cole. Like literally, I appreciate you, man. You've been speaking nothing but facts coming out to this show when it's desperately needed. Straight facts. Until Giannis loses in the playoffs, the league is his right now. Eric and John don't want to admit it. They're stuck on KD. If KD has – if this league isn't KD's already, it's not going to be his league already. I'm sorry. It's not. He should have took that from LeBron a long time ago, but he could never because he's not that talented. He's not that good. I'm sorry. He's a great player, a superstar player, a Hall of Fame player, but he wasn't on LeBron's level. And I'm sorry, but Giannis is passing him up. If not, he passed him up already. It's over. It's not. It's never going to be Kevin Durant's league. It's not. Look who's back. I'm waiting for you, Palaio. I've been waiting for you to come back.
Ooh, the Suns could win it.
I think so too. The Suns. They're
great. The Suns are good. The Suns are. Anybody that comes out of the West will be a legitimate contender for anybody that comes out of the East. You can't go wrong with any. You can make a case for Golden State. You can make a case for the Phoenix Suns. You can make a case for the Memphis Grizzlies and their up and coming team. You can make a case from 1 through 6. You know, even with Luka and Jovic and Dallas and Denver, respectfully, you can make a case for anybody. You really can. Out of the West. Out of the East is just okay. It's just literally like 3 teams, and one of the teams is like all the way on the bottom in Brooklyn. But you can still make a case for them because of the players that they have. John
says Brooklyn likes defense. Cole says they definitely the favorite coming from the East. Philly is 2 suspect. Brooklyn plays no defense. Miami, I'm not sure on them either. Miami's probably the biggest threat right now. I think they're too consistent. They're really, really good this year for sure.
They're just coached really, really well with players that got some names and young players like Tyler Hero too as well coming up from the ranks. I think that's the one thing that you got Miami Heat coming from. But it's just they're coached by Eric Spoelstra, who's just been there for years.
That's all credit to Pat Riley, man. The fact that this man
100%.
year in and year out could just put a team out there and they compete every single time. Like that organization is amazing. And this is the post the LeBron, D Wade, and Bosh era. They've always stayed relevant. Like that. Like, credit to Spoelstra's, credit to Pat Riley. That they know what the hell they're doing down there in South Beach. John says put KD on the Bucks and they were still winning last year. I don't know that to be true, John. There's a lot that Giannis can do that KD can't, and a lot of it is defensively. KD is nowhere near the defensive player that Giannis is. And look, you take Giannis off that Bucks, they don't even make the playoffs. I'm sorry. With Kevin Durant, yeah, they make the playoffs, but they don't win a championship, man. I don't think that's true at all. Cole said they struggled against the Knicks tonight. I don't see them instantly getting together. Talking about Brooklyn. Brooklyn has problems right now, Eric. The fact that they don't have Ben Simmons coming back, until possibly the actual postseason, that's an issue. We already said it on Monday. You're gonna rely on Ben Simmons to come back in the postseason and hopefully guard these great players like Jason Tatum, like Chris Middleton, like give me another good Jimmy Butler. Like he can't do that. He cannot do that against these teams. I get it. He used to be a great defender, but for him being out as long as he has, for him having all these injuries and all these problems, back problems, and just to come back and expect him to do all this, I don't see it happening, man.
For sure.
Have some serious issues.
Yeah. I'd like to say, in the NBA Finals playoffs, if you don't play defense, you're not going to go a long way. But offensively, you just do the minimum of it. You have a chance, and I think when you tighten up the screws in the playoffs, anything can happen. And with the scoring that they have, they score at will. It's just right here. This
statement bothers me. Oh, if he had a size 12, they would have won. Come on, John. You're better than that, John.
That is true, man.
No.
If you see the video, it like skins it. And by
he is a professional NBA player. You don't need a size 12, 13, 14 to be able to win the game you're supposed to win. You know where that 3-point line is. You know damn well where that 3-point line is. I'm sorry, but he didn't make the shot. Had he been a step back,
he did make the shot.
Had he been a step back, you don't know if he would have made the shot because he wasn't a step back. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Giannis and the Bucks still won games prior to that one. They still won 4 games, with what you need to do to move on to the next round. Yes or no? You can't keep saying, "Oh, it was game 7, that one game," because Durant wasn't behind the line. The Bucks would have never won a championship,
which is true because they would have eliminated.
What happened the other 3 games? What happened the other 3 games when they lost to the Bucks?
It's a series, man.
What happened? It doesn't, and that's why I love the NBA.
What about the other 3 games?
But that's why I love the NBA, because there's no flukes in the NBA.
No, that's true. There is
no flukes. If it would have been a one-game thing, that comment holds all the merit in the world. Oh, if he would have done, no, there was 3 other games that Durant and the Nets lost to Giannis and the Bucks, but we don't mention those games, do we?
No, because literally by this much, he was just on the line. Like it was because he made the shot. It was a 3. It was for the win. It was a dagger. Instead of it was a tie, they went to overtime, and you could tell that Kevin Durant spent his last ounce of energy just to get the Nets to that opportunity. And it just failed him. It really did. That extra shoe size that he has, that 17 could have been a 16, and it would have been all over.
Yep. Suns and Mavs are by far the favorites in the West. To me, that's the Mavs. I'm surprised.
I mean, look, like I said, you can make a case for any team out of the West, and you have the most, and you'll probably be right 9 times out of 10. You'll probably be right. Every case that you could, like I said, you make a case for Ja Morant, the Grizzlies, for the Suns, the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Nuggets. You can make a case for all of them to come out of the West, and you won't look dumb. That's how tight it is out West.
Even though don't sleep on Boston, I'm sleeping on Boston. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sleeping on Boston. I think out of the top 3 teams, 4 teams, they're the weakest, and I'm saying that right after they just killed our beloved Bulls. But let's be honest, everybody's doing that nowadays. It's not that special. But I think in the playoffs, you look at the 4 teams, I still think Boston is the weakest only because of the way they play. If they're having an off night shooting, it's it. that it's over for them. Like, in the postseason, everything slows down. Defense is key, and you need big presence down low, like Joel Embiid, like Bam Adebayo, like Giannis. Those are the teams I think that are elite because they have versatility all over the floor, not just pulling up shooting. I told y'all they would finish better than the Bulls. Yeah, you did, John. That's credit. I mean, but let's be honest. So did the Toronto Raptors also finish better than the Bulls so far. So it doesn't doesn't really mean nothing now. Mm-hmm. He got something most don't have scoring off the bench with Hero and Robinson. They are scary. Jimmy needs to work on his shooting, though. It's terrible. He doesn't need to shoot. He doesn't need to, though.
But you still got to come up. Like, he's still a big part of that team. And he's right. Jimmy Butler in the last 10 games, I think he's shooting almost at 40%. So that's not really good if you're Jimmy Butler in the Miami Heat.
Yeah. Giannis made defensive plays last year that won the Bucks games. I don't think KD can make those plays. Absolutely not. John says Simmons is going to easily lock up. Okay, we're not even going to that. That was a clutch 3. It wasn't a 3 though. It was a clutch 2. It wasn't a 3. Ice in his veins. Yeah, he made it to force him to overtime. But what happened, Eric? They forced the overtime, right? So which means they both each got extra minutes to play. If Kevin Durant was so good, like you guys say he is, better than Giannis, then what happened in overtime?
Nah, he was spent. You could tell he was spent. He got tired.
Like, you can say and Giannis wasn't spent. He probably played the same amount of minutes, if not more, right? The two superstars, but Giannis still won that game, did he not? Did he not? Come on, get out of here with that. I know it was Game 7. Giannis beat them in Game 7. Giannis couldn't make that shot. He didn't have to make that shot, buddy. He didn't have to make that shot. They went into overtime, and he defeated Kevin Durant in the Brooklyn Nets.
It was nothing but layups.
And that's facts, John. And that's facts, what I just said. No, come on. Duh. What does it have to do with anything? He's not a better player than Giannis. He's a better three-point shooter. Great.
I mean, almost some majority of the league is better than Giannis at 3. Yeah. Although he's been developing a good mid-range. I'll give him that. Ain't no way we losing this bad because of no Lonzo. It's more than that.
It's more.
It's more than that. I think it's way more than that. The Bulls are too soft. The Bulls are way too soft interiorly. Vooch doesn't cut it for me anymore. You could tell he's getting bullied. When you're that size and you're getting bullied, you don't deserve to be that size. Defensively, even overall as a team, they can't rebound even on the offense nor defensive side of the ball. You can't rebound. The Bulls lose a lot of rebound battles too as well. And it's just it is what it is. That's the Chicago Bulls in a nutshell. You're right. Lonzo does have some defensive aspects, prowlers to him. That's fine. That's great. That's all dandy. But what can you do on the other side of the ball? Can you score? Can you give him consistently 15, 20 points a game? You can't. That's not Lonzo's game. But the Bulls had more problems outside of just Lonzo Ball's injury, and you could kind of tell literally after when the schedule got tougher.
Yeah. John said you can't be the best league if you can't even shoot a 3-pointer. That's no, because LeBron made a living of not being the best 3-point shooter and still became king of the NBA throughout that period amount of time. You could there's other players too. They're not just not coming. Carmelo Anthony, not a decent 3-point shooter, has a great mid-range and made us up. Yes, he has a better 3-point shot. I get that. Okay, great. But his game was mainly more around the mid-range game as Carmelo Anthony did. Derrick Rose at one point was the best player in the league, and he didn't even have a 3-point shot like that.
Exactly.
So, come on, John. You're better than that, man. You're embarrassing yourself, boy. Come on.
For a while, and he still can't to this day. LeBron can't shoot a 3 to this day. That was never part of his game. He said, "Boy, 3 to the dome." Hey, look again. But Carmelo Anthony's game was mainly more within 16 feet of the rim. But if you look at his 3-point shots, it wasn't all that great. He wasn't that prolific scorer like Steph Curry, shooting threes. It was his mantra. But anything inside the interior was all Carmelo Anthony.
But Carmelo Anthony was never the best player of the league, so that conversation is irrelevant. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It was Kobe Bryant's league when Carmelo was in his prime. So
and that was another guy whose mid-range game was the best of the best throughout that time.
And then after Kobe Bryant lost the league to LeBron, it was LeBron's league. It was never Carmelo's league. So, I mean, you could say all you want, but Carmelo, it was never his league.
I mean, okay. Has he developed it? Sure, but I'm still saying that's still not part of his repertoire in shooting threes. He had clutch moments shooting threes here and there, but I'm saying, but that's not really LeBron James is not gonna dribble and do a fancy move, take a step back and shoot a three. No, LeBron is just drive in. He'll take his smart shots shooting threes. And even then, he's not a 3-point shooter.
Giannis is averaging 30% from 3-point. It's not bad for a big guy
That's not good.
It's not bad either, though. Come on, 30% from 3-point. Eric, it's Giannis. Like, he doesn't have a 3-point shot. But the fact that he's even at 30% is like, come on, it's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. Come on. No, how many threes did he put yesterday,
30%, bro?
How many threes did he put on the Bulls yesterday? Hold on, let me see.
I could shoot 30%, bro. Come on.
No,
Joel Embiid could shoot threes.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot shoot 30. Eric, we got to go to the gym. We definitely got to.
I got my spots, man. I have my spots on the floor, homie.
No way.
Don't discredit. I have my spots. Trust me.
John put 1-3 on the Bulls yesterday.
John said no one has ever called him the best. Yeah, because he never was.
Who?
Carmelo. No, I'm just kidding. Carmelo. This Melo slander free podcast. Jordan says. And then John says LeBron made the league soft. You know what's not soft anymore, Jose? Or maybe a little. NFL football's back. Football is back.
Hold on. We can't ignore the JCA 3-point dunk contest. And look. Dunk contest, we could try, right? I think one of us will probably tear our ACLs, MCLs, dislocate a hip. But we could definitely try. I'm always down. But we definitely have to have a race, the JCA race, and we also have to have the JCA 3-point contest. That I think is more our repertoire, our style. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll wipe the floor with you guys on shooting. I could tell you that much for sure.
Go ahead. Sorry, Eric. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Bears, man. OTA started. Matt Eberflus finally saw the Bears team for the first time. I saw a report. Yeah, for JCA Olympics. I'm down for that. A great content. Do the dunk contest at 8-foot rim. How about 7? I don't think it's 7 because of John's height. All right, we got to make it somewhat.
Hey, don't disrespect my boy. He could probably jump 2 inches, doing 2 feet.
Hey man, look, I got it. It's helping him out, man. You barely could jump over 2 tortillas stacked on top of each other, man. Come on.
I could jump way higher than 2 tortillas.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Maybe 4 tortillas, give me a little bit, but 2 for sure.
Anywho, but Eberflus, there was a report. Everybody showed up for OTAs. There was a lot of excitement that Justin Fields, the whole entire Bears staff. I know it's too early to predict, but are we getting our juices flowing for NFL football, Jose?
It's funny because I feel like we just ended the NFL season, yet we're already wanting more, and that's credit to the NFL because they've had at one point almost a whole month of breaking news. That this player is going to be on this team, this player got traded to this team, this guy's out of retirement. It's like now we're clamoring for the NFL again, and baseball starts tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm always excited for NFL. I love the NFL. Am I excited for the Bears season? Yes, but it has more to do with intrigue than anything else. You know what I mean? Because we know for a fact the Bears aren't gonna win. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs. But I'm intrigued to see what this new regime's about. I'm intrigued to see what Ryan Poles can do in the draft. I'm intrigued to see what Matt Eberflus can do in the regular season. I'm intrigued to see what Justin Fields can become because I'm really hoping and banking that he is the start quarterback that we all need and love. But question.
How about just need? Love comes first, but
we desperately need him to be the quarterback we all want him to be. Yes. But I'm excited. There's no way. Look, Jose, 2,000 plus. Book it. God, you guys are so disrespectful. You guys, the fact that you think I am not athletic, bro, I can't wait to show you guys. I cannot wait.
The fact that he put himself the favorite is blasphemy. If this motherfucker barely reaches 5 feet, like it's not even like this is why we need to dunk at a 7-foot rim. He barely reaches 5 feet. He barely is in my ankles, man. Those odds are very disrespectful. If
I'm
anything,
6 feet. You're barely 6 feet. You know, it's like, come on.
If anything, I'm the favorite here because out of both of y'all, I'm kind of the most athletic out of both of y'all put together, and I still kind of play, even though I have a little tummy. So don't come on me at that. Don't stop. Flip the odds between me and John, and we have it great. All right, you guys, bro. It looks like every time you walk, you jump. That's how high you jump. That's why we have to put it at a 7-foot rim. Shut up. Stay over there. Y'all be breathing hard. No, homie, that's Jose. I don't breathe hard when I throw out the trash. Chill. I still walk along all day, every day. Where do you think Chicago should go in the draft? That's a good question, Cole.
Offensive lineman.
I'm leaning towards that too as well. But if you have, but being this draft being so wide receiver heavy and us needing another wide receiver too as well, I would not be. I would be okay. Should I say I would be okay if they go wide receiver. I would be fine if they go wide receiver as their first pick in the second round. I would be okay if they would even trade back, get some more capital, get some more picks. We need to build this team some way, somehow. And if you could find more value later on in the draft with more picks, because you need to help this team and bolster up this team both offensively and defensively, I don't mind dropping back in the draft too as well. The moves that Ryan Poles and Matt, or at least Ryan Poles, right? Because Eberflus has nothing to do other than coach the team that he has now. But Ryan Poles looks like he's active, and losing Ogunjobi and getting another player after that failed test tells me that Poles knows what he's doing. And Poles knows that he's on top of his game. So whatever he does, I'm going to be a little bit more better than the guy that previously ran the Chicago Bears, the other Ryan. But I'll be okay. Whatever move. If they get if there's a number one or if there's a top wide receiver at that spot that the Bears are in and it's a no doubter, go for it.
Yeah, Eric, you bring up a great point. For him to be, this is his first ever, his first time ever being a general manager, but for him to be that detailed, so like once that move where Obajobi fell through, he already had a backup like that. Man. That tells you that he literally had plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. That shows, attention to detail at its finest. And of course, this is his first year. For him to do that, it already shows you that he knows what he's doing a little bit. But we got to see what he can do in the draft. But to answer your question, Cole, you have 2 picks in the second round. Yes, he says it here. This is a wide receiver heavy draft. He said this class is loaded with receivers. That's true. I think you should use one of those picks for a wide receiver, and then the other pick you use for an offensive lineman. You need to help. You need to put around. You need to create or build an offense around Justin Fields, a legit one. So if that means solidifying that offensive line this year, solidifying his weapons and pieces around him this year, do it. You're not going to win a championship this year. So this year should just be retooling, rebuilding, and then from there, moving forward and see what you can do in the future. But for sure, you need an offensive lineman. If you go out the second round without an offensive lineman, whoever you pick better be worth it for sure.
Definitely. And yeah, you're right. Number one priority is protecting Fields. You have Jenkins from last year and Larry Borum who performed. So you got your tackle situation, just depending if you're going to put him left or right. That's the real question. Interior wise, you just have Cody Whitehair. You let James Daniels go. So you need an interior wise help too. So yeah, that's definitely an improvement or a place where they need to improve in their team. So we're going to talk about a lot of Bears, hopefully, this year. And he's right. Fields without protection won't have a very long career. And not only just Fields, but any other quarterback, too.
No, not only just Fields, but neither will Eberflus or Ryan Poles. I think they know that in order for them to be able to keep their jobs, Justin Fields has to produce.
And Ryan Poles being an offensive lineman himself, he knows how important that position really is. Jose, last week you missed an episode when I was just outnumbered by John's family, and I did not like it one damn bit. I was hoping that Tony,
in the show, in the comments, they were heavy.
They were heavy.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that for sure. they're always welcome to come on. Nick, Tony,
everybody.
They're always more than welcome. John's family is our family, so
exactly,
sure.
and then all the friends too. All his family, his friends are our friends. So it goes
Absolutely.
on without saying. Listen to the Jca Sports Podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok. But before we leave, last week, like I alluded, Jose was missing. We missed Jose in our baseball podcast. And we all had our predictions for World Series, early prediction for the World Series championship game. Who are the two representing teams that represent from the NL and AL, or the teams are going to represent the AL and the NL? Sorry, Jose, for you, Jose Contreras, your team from the National League is?
The Dodgers. I said it in the comments last week. The Dodgers are making. I think. Their skipper said it themselves. He's looking around this team. Is like, wow, they're winning a championship this year. They every year, Eric, it seems like they get better every single year. I'm jealous as a Cubs fan.
That's what we should have been.
That's what we should be, bro. We should be that team to be able to spend money. The Yankees and the Dodgers do it better than they'll spend for talent, and then they'll make those trades and spend for more talent. It's like, bro, like. Why can't we do that? We have the payroll, regardless of whatever the hell Ricketts is saying. But yeah, no, the Dodgers, man. I think the Dodgers are destined to go back to the playoffs for sure, and win the Super. Oh my God, I'm thinking of football and win the World Series. Like, honestly, I don't know any other team in the NL that could compete with them right now. I mean, the Braves had a magical year last year.
And you called it. We gave you credit.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, because I call it because of the run they had in the postseason. If you would have told me before the postseason, I would have been like, I don't know. But they got hot. They got hot right at the end, and momentum carried them all the way through. And momentum is scary, man. Baseball is very scary. We've seen it. We've seen it with plenty of teams. But I think the Dodgers have it. I can see them being the best team in the NL like all year. Basically, how the Cubs were in 2016. I can see the Dodgers having that same kind of season.
And for your representative from the American League is?
So last week I said Boston, the Red Sox, because I thought that was just a sleeper team of mine. But after doing a little bit of research, I think Tampa Bay Rays might come out the AL, man.
Wow, look at you.
I think Tampa Bay definitely made some moves this offseason to solidify their I guess World Series status as well. But I could definitely see Dodgers, Rays in the World Series for sure. And if you ask me who would win, I'm going to stick with the Dodgers.
When was the last time Cubs splashed a big name in free agency? I mean, big money? Easy. His name was Yu Darvish. That was the last time the Cubs spent big on a player.
And that wasn't
even a championship. Jason Hayward. I mean, we go.
Well, that's the thing, right? They spent big money on Hayward, but he wasn't the reason why they won it. Well, I guess you can. Maybe he was, right? That speech.
We paid him that much amount of money for a speech that worked, man. That's all I gotta say.
They got us a chip. They got
us a chip, and we will be forever grateful for that speech and the nakedness of Anthony Rizzo in the locker room, because that was always well.
Hey, John, you can laugh all you want, buddy, but you need that type of leadership in the locker room right now. Okay,
100%. Something that the White Sox don't have right now. Oh, by the way, the Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook Live. We'd like to thank everybody that's on here. Cole, Jonathan, I don't know who else was on here, but we'd like to thank everybody that was watching, everybody that was listening. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter.
Hold on, Eric. Real quick, man. Real quick. I didn't forget about you, Palaio. Those odds were very disrespectful. All right, we could definitely jump.
I could definitely jump. Shut up. You just don't know, because you just only see us when we're drinking, chilling, eating down. Trust me, we can all jump. That's why we're putting the rim for you at 5 feet and us at 7, just to give you some type of advantage, or just to give you some type of a chance to compete.
We use what are those Tyler basket hoops? What are they called? Is it Kitty? The Kitty one?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's the one we're using for John, for sure.
Yeah, we're using that for John.
The Jca Sports Podcast, guys. Make sure you listen to our show and watch our show every Monday and Wednesday at 9:00. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok, and all our other shows too as well. For myself, Jose Contreras. For myself, Eric Avila. I said for myself twice and then said your name. Wow. Myself, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras, John Palaio is also another.
Yes.
Fisher Price. Thank you. John Palaio and everybody else that was watching. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back better next week. Until then, guys, deuces.
What a finish! Wow, that is unfreaking believable. What a way for a ball game to end.
Oh, that's what happened. Oh, that's terrible. My God. The humanity.
They may be the drunkest couple in the history of sporting events.
I loved his face.
I would suspect that fan is done for the night. Here's the thing. When you steal something, don't wear it.